The morning that changed everything. June 12, 1962. Guards at Alcatraz begin their morning head count. But something's wrong. 3 cells are empty. The beds are occupied, but not by living men. Only dummy heads made of soap, hair, and paper. 3 prisoners have vanished from the most secure prison in America. This is the real story of the Alcatraz Escape, a mystery that still haunts the FBI to this day. The Rock of No Return. Alcatraz was supposed to be escape-proof. Built on a lonely island in the cold waters of San Francisco Bay, surrounded by strong tides and freezing waves. It was where the government sent those who couldn't be controlled, hardened criminals, repeat escapees, and men who had defied every other prison. The walls were concrete, the guards were ruthless, and hope was a distant dream. Yet, deep inside, a few prisoners began plotting the impossible freedom. The mastermind, among them, was Frank Morris. He wasn't a brute or a killer. He was a thinker, a man with a genius-level IQ of 133 and a reputation for breaking out of prisons across the country. When Morris arrived at Alcatraz in January 1960, he immediately began studying his surroundings, the sounds, the routines, the weaknesses. Soon after, he met 2 brothers, John and Clarence Anglin, skilled craftsmen and strong swimmers. Together, they formed a quiet alliance that would challenge the most feared prison in America. The plan takes shape. Using stolen spoons, small drill bits, and a handmade electric motor from an old vacuum cleaner, they started digging through the concrete walls behind their cells. Every night, they worked for hours, hiding the sound with the noise of music and conversation. Each morning, they carefully concealed the holes with cardboard and painted them to match the walls. It took 7 long months. 7 months of patience, fear, and genius. And while they dug, they built something else, dummy heads sculpted from soap, toilet paper, and real human hair. Those heads would one day fool the guards long enough for them to vanish. The night of the escape. On June 11, 1962, the prison fell silent. After lights out, Morris and the Anglin brothers placed the dummy heads on their pillows. Then, one by one, they slipped through the holes behind their cells and climbed up the service corridor to the roof. They carried with them a homemade raft and life vests, stitched together from over 50 stolen raincoats and glued with old rubber cement. By 10:30 that night, they reached the edge of the island. Under a dark sky and a cold blue moon, they pushed their raft into the water and disappeared into the freezing waves of San Francisco Bay. The discovery. The next morning, the sirens screamed. Guards rushed through the cell block and found the evidence, the heads, the holes, the tools, and the route. The prison went into lockdown. Within hours, the FBI, Coast Guard, and local police launched one of the largest manhunts in American history. They found a waterproof bag floating near the shore. Inside were personal belongings and photos. A paddle washed up days later, but no bodies, no raft, and no sign of the 3 men. The investigation. For 17 years, the FBI chased every lead. They analyzed tides, currents, and water temperatures. Experts said no one could have survived the freezing waves that night, but the Anglin family believed otherwise. They claimed to have received postcards and even photographs showing the brothers living in South America. In 2013, a letter surfaced, allegedly written by John Anglin himself. It read, "Yes, we made it that night, but barely." The FBI couldn't confirm the letter's authenticity, and the case officially closed in May. In 1879, still the mystery remained unsolved. The legend lives on. Decades later, new photos and eyewitness accounts reignited the story. Some experts believe the men may have survived using the currents to reach the shore before dawn. Others insist the cold took them before they ever saw land. What's undeniable is that Alcatraz was never the same again. The prison closed just a year later, too expensive, too damaged, and too humiliated to continue. The three men were never found. No remains were ever discovered, and to this day, the question remains, did they make it? Or did the Pacific claim their bodies forever? Closing thoughts, the Alcatraz Escape isn't just a story about breaking free. It's a story about courage, intelligence, and the human will to fight against impossible odds. It reminds us that no wall, no matter how strong, can hold back the desire for freedom. So, what do you believe? Did Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers reach the shore that night? Or did they vanish into the deep blue waters of history? Leave your theory in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life prison breaks, unsolved crimes, and unbelievable escapes.